Hi, welcome to another Sunday supper. Today we're doing sheet tray cashew chicken. Now I'm not going to say this one is lazy, but I am going to call it an easy Sunday supper. I'm going to get my rice on first, and I love this brand of rice, the Ralstons. You cannot go wrong. American ground, all the good things. But I'm going to get that on first because I can sit over here while we get the rest going. I'm going to do 1 cup rice to 2 cups filtered water. I bring it to a boil, put the lid on it, lower the heat, simmer for 13 minutes, and then I turn off the heat and let it sit for 13 minutes. And that's just how I make my jasmine rice. And of course, we want a good pinch of salt in there. I'm gonna bring that to a boil. So the first thing we want to do is get our sauce going, and I think it's a pretty quick and easy sauce. I got my oven on, 400 degrees. I got my sheet tray ready, and we're pretty much ready to go here. I want a good tablespoon of fresh minced garlic. And if you find yourself out of fresh ginger, always ginger in my kitchen. But you can use some ground ginger here. And the good thing is when you do it yourself, you get that beautiful ginger juice in there. It's so amazing. And to that, I'm going to add 1/3 cup soy sauce and 2 tablespoons rice wine vinegar. I have 3 cloves of garlic that I've minced. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. And then I'm going to do 2 good tablespoons of honey. Now in the recipe, I'm going to put some sambal, but Sam has this in the refrigerator and I love this stuff. I know I've done a couple recipes with it. This kimchi sauce is so delicious. So I'm going to go for that today, and I'm going to do a tablespoon of sambal or your kimchi sauce, whichever you pick. And then today we made fresh, sweet chili sauce. I just made this. It's actually still warm, and I'm going to do a tablespoon of that. What's the matter? Do you hear the kitty? And then to this, we're going to add 1/2 cup filtered water and 2 tablespoons cornstarch. I know I've said it before, but when you buy your cornstarch, make sure that you're buying a non-GMO one that's made from non-GMO corn. So I'm going to whisk in my 2 tablespoons of cornstarch here. Keep an eye on my rice. I can hear it, and it sounds like it's getting close. Now, whenever I do Asian, I really like white pepper. White pepper is usually used in Asian foods. I couldn't find any in Sam's pantry. So I'm going to go with, I know he has a mixed pepper blend in here, so I'm going to go with some mixed pepper here. About 1/4 teaspoon. And then probably a good 1/2 teaspoon of some kosher salt. Your soy sauce is going to be salty. At least I think it's salty, so not too much salt. And we're going to give this a stir. I'm going to set that aside. All right, so we're just coming to a boil on my rice here. Give it another stir. Pop the top. Reduce that heat to a simmer. Now in my bowl here, I cut up 1 red bell pepper. I think you can kind of play with this and do the vegetables of your choice. I think like you could do a red, a yellow, and an orange bell pepper in there, and I think it would be really pretty. I decided to go for a pepper and some cabbage and a red onion. And I'm just going to, as you can see, I cut my peppers kind of big, and I'm going to do just a rough chop on my cabbage here and put this in the bowl. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that onion. I chose 1/2 of the onion. I mean, I think you could do the whole one. I think it's kind of your personal preference here. But again, I'm just going to cut it down that way and just some small chunks into the bowl. And now I'm going to pour 1/2 of my sauce over this. Save the other 1/2. I'm going to give this a toss. I think those colors look beautiful, don't you? parchment paper on my sheet tray. And I'm just going to pour this out onto my sheet tray. I'm going to pop this in my hot oven for 10 minutes. And while that's in there, we'll get the rest going. Isn't that beautiful? So next we're going to cut up some chicken. I have just 2 chicken breasts here. It's about 1.5 pounds. And honestly, I think these 2 chicken breasts, it's about $8. You could really feed about 4 people with this. I think it makes a lot. And I guess it depends on how much those people eat. So again, I've said this before, if you got teenage boys, probably not. But I'm just going to cut this chicken into nice bite-sized pieces. And we're going back into that same bowl. There's no need to dirty another bowl. And just some nice bite-sized pieces. So next to that same bowl, I have 2 little heads of broccoli here, and I'm just going to cut around. If you had a big enough stem, you could cut it around. And if I was going to do that, I would probably chop it up and add it with that first bit because this is going to take a little longer to cook. If you wanted to add it to here, just really cut it thin if you really wanted to use it all. And throw that in there. But I want to leave my broccoli nice and big like this. And then we're going to measure out about 1 cup of raw cashews. I'm going to go actually a little more. I'm going to go ahead and fill this thing up with this, just a little more than 1 cup. And in fact, if that's all I have left, I'll probably go ahead and just dump them all in there. And now to this bowl, we have our chicken, we have our cashews, broccoli, and we're going to pour the remaining half of that marinade all over this. And I'm kind of watching my clock because I should be turning the heat off of my rice about the same time that that's coming out of the oven over there. Let me give this a good stir like this. Okay, so time's at my 13 minutes for my rice. So I'm going to turn it off and just let it sit there. Don't pick up the lid, just let it sit there. And my 10 minutes are up in the oven, so I'm going to go get that sheet tray. Doesn't that look pretty? I love that way that purple cabbage looks. So I'm going to give him a scoot over there, give a little mix up. And then we're going to add all of this beautifulness. And it's okay if you're encroaching over here, but you kind of want to get it as flat as you can so everything cooks even, especially that chicken. So just make sure it's as flat as you can get it. Back in the oven, 10 to 12 minutes. Just make sure your chicken's done. Here it is out of the oven. Look at those beautiful colors. So many colors and textures, so beautiful. I apologize for the voiceover. My microphone died and I wasn't aware, but I just wanted to say, look at this beautiful, beautiful sheet pan of deliciousness. Now, I did go for 12 minutes. I checked it at 8 and the chicken wasn't quite done. I gave it a stir and then let it go for 12 minutes. And of course, we're going to serve that with that jasmine rice, which is what I recommend serving it with. Such an easy Sunday night, any night dinner, not a big fuss and not a lot of dishes. And just make this for your family. And if you do, let me know. Send me a picture. And of course, I have to have a taste because it was delicious, as you can tell by my happy dance. So thank y'all for being here. It is so appreciated. I love you all. And I'm going to see you very, very soon. Thanks again. Bye.